met a gypsy.
What was it like getting to ride all the stock bikes on the same tires?
It was good. I actually liked it because I could understand, like, it was a real challenge for the chassis to shine, right? Because, like, if you know mostly the R&D guys, the guys riding don't get to pick the tires. They're usually picked off as price, right? Whoever's getting the best price on tires from Bridgestone or Dunlop. But the Yamaha guys were actually Steve Tatorsky and Preston were really blown away how good the MAXXIS tires were, and they bought some before the test because they knew they was going to have them on there to make sure that all their settings were good. And they were like, man, these things are good. Like, okay, we're in a good place. And the Cowie guys, obviously McGrath uses MAXXIS, and he runs them, and Jeremy's Jeremy, and he's like, I choose to run these because I can. I could get free Dunlops or get paid by Dunlop if I wanted, but MAXXIS is a fun brand to work with right now. They're excited, and man, it was cool. Like, I think it was a good move, not only for Swap Moto Live to have a revenue coming in and MAXXIS to invest in motorsport, but in two-wheel motorsport, but also to give a fair shake of like what the bike can do tire to tire.
Yeah, no, that is super cool. We've been running those as well. We've got to deal with them, and man, I can't
Do you run
believe
the ST or the IT?
I got the IT on my bike now, just because we did like we did just a bunch of riding on this trip, and I just didn't want to blow through like a good tire. But that ST's fucking good. I was really impressed by the IT though, actually. Like, I thought it'd be quite a big step back, but it really wasn't.
It really isn't. It just has a better wear pattern, right? It wears a little slower than the ST, but to my point, if you don't mind getting sidetracked on tires for a second,
mate,
over here and even in
do.
the Dunlop, I think globally has such a stranglehold on tires, right? They have such good market share that everyone thinks that they're the best, right? Where you could take a Dunlop out to, like, you know, the hardest track out to Pimpama, or the hardest track, or QMP where it's hard pack, right? And a Dunlop won't chunk really. It'll wear slowly. But if you take an ST, and that's a soft terrain Dunlop, if you take a soft terrain MAXXIS and ST, it's going to blow apart in 40 minutes because it's a soft terrain tire, as it should. A soft terrain tire should not last on a hard pack track more than an hour.
Yeah.
It should be complete garbage. But Dunlop, it lasts. And so a parent is convinced that a soft terrain tire should last like a hard terrain tire. Well, there's no, like, it's like Formula One or V8 Supercar. For qualifying, they put a soft tire on, and they go fast for a short period of time.
Dude, Jack, so it's like, you talk to Jack after, like, Jack Miller after qualifying, like, you'll hit him up and be like, oh, how's quality? He's like, oh, dude, I fucking, it was good, but I did my fast time on lap 3 of that tire, and, like, the tire was fucked. Lap 3.
Yeah.
Lap 3.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy? So, like, Dunlop will give a soft terrain tire to the market, and they have such a market share hold that everyone believes that tire should, soft terrain tire should last X amount of, right? So it's like MAXXIS has a pretty big educational curve to get to the public that they have a ST, and intermediate, and a hard that are meant for the terrain. But Dunlop goes, you should use the MX-33. You should use the MX-3S. Like, use the soft terrain everywhere you go.
Yeah.
But you shouldn't. You should use a soft terrain at Coolum or a sand track, and you should use a hard terrain or intermediate terrain at a harder pack track, depending on the wear you want, right? So, I mean, that's just my theory on it, and I'm really stoked MAXXIS as a brand is badass. Like, they, you know, from mountain bike to moto, and it's a really cool brand to be a part of.
Yeah, man, I totally agree. And I had people hit me up in my DMs, like, we've been working with them since I think like June or July that I've been running those tires.
That's very cool.
Yeah, and they've been awesome, like, here in Australia. But I've had people DM me and being like, oh, the soft tire wears pretty quick. I'm like, it's pretty much like a factory soft. Like, the reason the reason why there's like Dunlops, there's like a factory Dunlop, it's because they're softer compound than the soft that they sell. Whereas
you nailed it. Like,
whereas MAXXIS, they're giving you like the soft compound. They're giving you like the tire that you would sort of want to have, or like what you would call like a factory tire.
Absolutely. No, it's just because, like, kudos to Dunlop for having such a strong marketing campaign and market, and such big. They have such huge market share that they've convinced everyone that's the tire to have. It's not a bad tire. We're not saying that, but the MAXXIS is underrated. I think it can. I think the rear tire. I'll say the rear tire outperforms the Dunlop. The front tire has a different character than a Dunlop. So depending on how you ride on your bike, it's gonna work differently.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's cool to talk about, man. Like, obviously, for me to say it, like, A, I'm not that good of a rider, and B, they pay me every month. So it's like, it's that conflict of interest thing.
I didn't know. I didn't know you used them, to be honest. Right.
Yeah.
And that's cool. Like I went to MAXXIS because Jeremy asked if I'd help test McGrath. And then I once again could have got free Dunlops as long as I wanted to race probably and ride. But I was like, man, these guys are fired up. They want to support the sport. And let's just start moving forward with, like, let's try something new. And I'm so into mountain biking and cycling, and MAXXIS is the best in mountain biking. So I kind of just went all two wheels with MAXXIS.